Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach James here from Orange Theory Gresham. I'm here to give you Thursday, the 15th, Orange Everest breakdown. This is a really awesome template. Fun fact, one of the first Orange Theory classes I ever took before becoming a coach. So I hope you enjoy this one as much as I do. Looking at our 3G template first. Now, this is a specialty template class alongside a benchmark, so we definitely have a distance challenge as we come up and off of our hill. Something to get out of the way during forecasting and communication as folks get warmed up and find their base. Power walkers can range anywhere between 0.8 miles or greater in our 3G setting. Joggers about a mile, maybe runners a mile and a quarter or so. And of course, make sure we set those aside for bike and strider with their distance goals as well. Now, getting into the block, because it is a distance challenge, we got to clear out screens to make sure we identify where that is on those OT connects and start getting into our climbs. Now, the process here across 14 minutes, you'll be increasing your incline by 2% every 60 seconds, at least on the way up, and then we'll eventually do a little bit something extra before coming down. You'll notice about 6 minutes into our climbing, we'll have a pretty big jump from 12 all the way up to 15%. Now, of course, 3% could be a pretty big difference for some. Make sure they enjoy that summit view for the first minute that they're there, and then they'll be decreasing by 2% every 60 seconds. So the backside of the hill is going to come a little bit faster than the front side, but as they get to the very end of this 14-minute challenge, that flat road at the end will be their 1 minute all-out finisher. As you walk things down, make sure you congratulate them, of course, for their efforts. That is a tough one to get in, and then we're gonna want to track that distance, of course, make those efforts known inside the challenge tracker and on their apps. Now, getting them set up as far as intensity is concerned, definitely wanna encourage base pace at the beginning here. Nothing too much to overreach. 14 minutes, although it may be a breeze for some members, with these inclines, it's gonna get pretty uncomfortable pretty fast. So again, starting in base pace as they climb, maybe pulling back on that speed, knowing the incline is the star of the show here. We do not want to let go of those hills. Now, as you move on to the rowers in our 3G setting, you have a 500-meter push row to begin. Stroke rate specific is going to be 22 to 24 strokes per minute. Now, their goal with that is to maintain that stroke rate every time they come back to the rower. They will see a 100-meter row decrease across 5 rounds, and that is going to be paired with a medicine ball movement. This is a work and active recovery, so a lot of that breath is going to be captured during that exercise before they come back in for that next row. 5 rounds complete, they'll just row for time until that finisher. Again, 1 minute all out. They'll be lined up with our treads coming off of that final incline. Now, the weight floor side's got a lot of moving parts. You got 6 total movements, but it's a circuit, so it's self-paced. That might be a breather for some, or a bit more of a primer for others, depending on where they start for the day. That being said, there's a big upper body focus with this template. We want to save those legs for the climbing, although the last exercise across these 2 different circuits are going to be a little bit more core and low lumbar focus, so that might just prime them to brace a bit more as they breathe when they start climbing their hills today. 4 total rounds they'll get in. If they finish before time, as always, they'll just compile everything into one giant round to repeat for time, and then they're going to see their AMRAP finisher as well. Now, that's the gist of the 3G. Going over the 2G, of course, there's more time on the tread, so we're gonna move a little bit differently. Challenges are also going to be different as far as distances are concerned as well. With our power walking crew, about a mile, 0.4 or greater. Joggers can probably find themselves in a mile, 3/4, and runners maybe 2 miles or more. Again, look out for bikes and striders if you got them in your classroom today. Definitely wanna make sure that we're setting them up as well. Don't forget about those gear switches as well. The big difference between the 2G and 3G as far as your climbing is concerned is every 60 seconds we're still increasing, but only by 1%. So we have more time. We're going to take our time doing that. Still starting at 2, we're going to be just above the flat road to begin, and then 1% every 60 seconds. One thing to look out for, you'll notice a little timestamp on the tread side of the 2G that allows you to go from block 1 to block 2 to the weight floor. Be careful with that minute. It's gonna fly by fast, so those cues are gonna be a little bit faster, maybe some more partial demos, but we'll get to that in just a second. When you hit 15% and hit the top of our hills on Everest today, you're gonna come back down by 1% at 14, but like the 3G, 2% down from there. So again, 1% every minute on the way up in the 2G setting. After you flip it around, we start to come off the hill, then it's 2% on the way down, so things are gonna pick up pretty fast. A great opportunity for your members on the treads to maybe pick up the pace as those hills come down. I can almost guarantee a majority of your members will be pulling back on their base speeds as they get closer to the top. Encourage them to start picking things up once they feel comfortable and the hill starts to level out a little bit more. Weight floor side for the 2G, you got those same 6 movements, but luckily they're gonna be broken up into 2 separate blocks. You will buy in with a 100-meter push row. We're still gonna focus on that 22 to 24 stroke per minute range, and then they'll run into that circuit for time. That same pattern lies in block number 2, but be warned, their finisher is a 1-minute all-out row. So with that last 60 seconds before members come into that flat road effort, make sure you communicate to your weight floor, hey guys, let's wrap it up. Final movements, we're gonna get you strapped in to lock and load so that we can grip and rip with the treads. This is a great template to get into, obviously, and always please take class if you have the opportunity. Music can be a huge success to this classroom setting. The beat in line with the members' steps, I'd encourage something around the 150 beats per minute range or so. So take a look at your playlist, be prepared, be ready, get into your daily beats, and have a good time with it.